G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Let's go. Am I the arsehole for not inviting one child from my daughter's class to a party? My husband and I have a daughter, Peyton, 7 female. Peyton goes to a small school with 20 kids in her grade. Her birthday is next month, and we sent out invitations to her friends at school. We invited the whole class except one student. The student we did not invite has bullied Peyton several times. We've had meetings with the school and parents. Obviously, Peyton doesn't want this kid at her party. The other girls have called me to talk about it, saying now her daughter is crying that she was the only kid not invited and everyone at school is talking about the party. Peyton's parties are known by her classmates to be very over the top. I explained that her daughter isn't nice to my daughter, and that's the reason she wasn't invited, and the mother knows this. The mother said, "I'm teaching my child to be a bully and to use her wealth to make friends." But I disagreed. The mother then asked if she had her daughter apologize and write Peyton a letter if we could reconsider. I told her that we would not, and it's become a big deal every time I see the mum. Am I the asshole? Edit for questions. Invitations were not handed out in the classroom. I handed them to parents directly. I've seen a few people ask exactly what kind of bullying has occurred, so I'll give a couple of examples from last year and this year. One time, Peyton came home crying because a little girl was so mean to her, telling her she wasn't pretty, she was too chubby, etc. Peyton has come home crying several times because the girl has told her there is no way she's a cheerleader. Peyton does cheering on weekends because she wasn't pretty. She has told Peyton that she couldn't play with the rest of the girls in the class when they were all playing jump rope at recess. The other girls told her to let Peyton play, so when it was Peyton's turn, the girl purposely got her out by not swinging the rope nicely. The teacher saw that happen, and she's called Peyton a crybaby. And this is only a couple of the incidents that happened. In the comments, not the asshole. Here's why. Your daughter has every right to feel safe at her party. This is a thing that this girl is going to miss out on, and she's upset about that. Which I guess is understandable, but here's the thing. Mum didn't offer an apology before the party. She didn't pull her kid in line before the party or when it was brought up repeatedly with the school. She is only doing it now because her kid is the victim. My main reason is because your kid deserves not to be walking on eggshells at her party. And I absolutely loathe when parents continue to put their kids in contact with their bullies and abusers. Children or not, your child deserves to feel safe. Yes, absolutely this. If that mum wants a good opportunity to be a parent, then she will see this as a teachable moment to her own kid. See? Act like an asshole to the other kids and they won't want you around. I'm going to go out on a limb though, and say that most of the kids who bully children are like that because their parents can't be bothered to be teaching them the damn crap that they need to learn. With all due respect, your daughter has bullied my daughter, so much so that we have had meetings with the school about it. To date, that behavior has not stopped. Your child is not welcome at the party because of her behavior. My daughter deserves to have her birthday party without having to worry that her bully is going to make fun of her or bully her in any way. I am sorry that your daughter is upset, but my responsibility is to look out for my child, not yours. Furthermore, I encourage you to take this opportunity to teach Bully that actions have consequences. Her actions led to my daughter not wanting her at this party, and reasonably so. Hopefully next year your child will have learned and grown so that they may one day be friends. But I in no way intend to push my daughter to go out of her way to be nice to someone who has only been mean to her thus far. Give people who are mean to you whatever they want at the expense of yourself. That is not a lesson that I want my daughter to learn, as I'm sure you understand. Have a lovely day. And now, onto the update. Peyton's party was today. She had so much fun. The student that was not invited did show up, but did not make it past the community gate. In our neighborhood, you have to have someone at the gate in order for people to enter. We had face painting, balloon animals, a bounce house, an obstacle course, a magic show, and character appearances. We even had a life-size Barbie box for pictures and pink everything. There was activities for the kids to do, and everything was a hit. Also, thank you to the commenter who suggested swag bags. We did have them, and the kids loved it. In the comments, Christ, the bully effing showed up? What crap parents she has. Home is Peyton's safe place. She is not obligated to allow anyone there that she doesn't want for any reason. It's nice to see her parents teaching her boundaries like this. So much less toxic than the make nice crowd. I'm glad that they live in a gated community. The bully and her family sound like they could cause trouble at the drop of a hat if given the opportunity. It kind of tells you why the kid is the way she is and what she will be like in the future, and that is just sad. I wonder if this is a money issue, if the bully is jealous of what Peyton has. It's no excuse, and Peyton can invite whoever she wants, but I feel like there is something going on, especially since bully mum mentioned money. OP also mentioned that it's a known thing that they throw really big parties, so potentially there is other flaunting of wealth going on. As a kid, it can be very difficult to understand how one person can seemingly have all the best stuff while you get nothing. The bully's mum needs to be doing much more to help the kid to understand. Our next post is titled, Boyfriend of 3 years just admitted to cheating. We're on vacation together. I don't know what to do. I, 30 female, have been in a seemingly happy relationship for a little over 3 years. My boyfriend, 32 male, is wonderful. We have lived together for about 2 years, rarely ever argue. We have so much in common, and honestly, he's my best friend. I love him and know that I want to marry this man. He flew down to his hometown yesterday, and I flew down this morning, and we're both catching a plane in the morning to go on vacation together for 6 days with 2 other friends of ours. Everything is paid for, and cancellations are not possible this last minute. I've been in our hotel room bawling my eyes out and dry heaving for the past 2 hours. I Ubered from the airport, and when he came down to help me with my bags, I immediately knew something was wrong. He looked like hell and was visibly nervous. Once we got into the hotel room, he started tearing up and told me that he had something to tell me, that he knows I'm going to leave him, but he can't keep a secret like that from me. He explained how he and a few of his childhood friends all went to a bar, and he ran into a girl that he went to college with. They never had sex, but did go on a few dates almost 7 years ago. She invited him and a group of other people back to her house, where they all proceeded to get drunk and do cocaine all night. I know about the occasional cocaine use, and just catch up. Basically, he and the college friend ended up having sex, and then she drove him to our hotel early this morning. He hasn't talked to her since, and he swears that it means absolutely nothing. He said that she's not even attractive, and that he was just screwed up. He says it was a big mistake and is begging for my forgiveness. A huge part of me wants to ask for every last detail, but I'm scared to know that there is potentially more to this story. I don't know. I want to forgive him and enjoy our time away, but I truly don't know how. Are there such occasions where you really can't help yourself, and it really was a spur-of-the-moment mistake? Or is there something hidden beneath the surface, and my happy relationship has been anything but this whole time? In the comments, quote, she's not even attractive is such a shitty excuse, as if it would be okay by him if she was good looking. The drugs were a red flag, the cheating is a whole other thing. OP replies, agreed. I don't quite understand the need to point out her looks, perhaps to ease the blow of the news. Well, if that's the case, his apology was more of a means to ease his own conscience rather than reassure you. If you want to take him back, it's your call, but proceed with caution. Just because he seems remorseful about it doesn't mean that he won't do it again, especially with drugs involved. There's something my father told me when I was going through similar crap with my ex-husband. He said, you have to teach others how you want to be treated. For the longest time, I tried to control how everyone treated me. That was until my father told me this. He said it didn't matter that people mistreated me. He said, there will always be those that think it is okay to do so. You can't control how people behave, but you can control what you will allow in your life. If you stay and forgive him, what message does that send to him? It honestly lets him know that he can treat you like crap and you'll forgive him. I know that you love him, but the question is, do you love yourself more? If you do forgive him, could you honestly let it go, move forward, and not ask any more questions about the incident? I tried to forgive my ex-husband. He tried saying he was drunk and couldn't remember much, but slowly the truth came to light. I couldn't get past the lies. We ended the marriage. If you decide to end things, it sends a message to any future man you will meet. It sets a foundation for him to know what you will accept. After the divorce, I ended up marrying my best friend from high school. We had both been through crummy and toxic relationships. I remember when we started dating, I told him, if you ever cheat on me, that is where our relationship ends. I said I won't ask questions about what happened because I'll already know that you broke something that didn't mean much to you. He said he agrees, and that's where he would draw the line too. It just boils down to self-love and doing what you know that you deserve. Best of wishes. Update. After basically begging him, he told me the name of the girl and I reached out to her. I called her and put her on speaker so we all three could talk. Unfortunately, I'm learning the situation was much worse than the story originally told, and I will be on a flight home in a few hours. The other girl is not unattractive, the sex was not protected. He and her had been flirty the entire 3 hours before they finally had sex. Hand-holding, sitting on his lap, making out a lot. He gave her oral sex, and basically the sex lasted quite a while, with various things being done. Not at all like the coked-out, unpleasant quickie that I was told about. I feel like I want to die. Update 2. First, I would like to just say thank you to everyone who has commented or messaged me. I appreciate all the kind messages, words of advice, and even some of the more harsher messages and comments. You guys have helped me more than you could imagine. I flew home this morning, took a nap, packed some of my things, took our cat, and am staying with a friend for the 6 days that he's away. He didn't want to go on the trip, but I insisted. I told him that if he has ever loved me, to please give me the time and space that I deserve. Unfortunately, our relationship is broken beyond repair. The reasoning behind why he cheated doesn't matter because the fact remains that he did. That in all of our time together, I have never even considered or wondered about another man, and the first chance he got, he chose to have unsafe sex with someone else. I believe that he loves me and quite possibly is sorry. I don't believe, however, that he has any respect for me or our life together. I don't know that I'd ever forgive him or trust him ever again. No respect and no trust means no relationship. We do have a shared life, so the ending of this relationship is not quite as easy as me packing and leaving and not looking back. We have shared accounts, both of our names on our lease, shared phone plans and car insurance. Basically, the next few weeks are going to be rough. Update 3. I have no idea if anyone cares about the outcome of this situation, but it's almost cathartic to write it all down, so I'm doing it anyway. I finally have a calm moment to sit at my computer and compose a logical thought. Upon me returning home, he and I had very little communication at my request. I had originally planned to spend the week at my friend's home to process this life-altering event, but early this afternoon he texted me telling me that he was home. Now, some people might think that that shows a lot of effort on his part, that he's remorseful, and rather than enjoy his vacation, he flew home to talk. Perhaps I would feel that way too, except that I asked for space. I told him that if he had ever loved me, he would give me time alone. He couldn't even give me that. I agreed to meet with him at our apartment to talk. I only wanted to talk about and sort out all the details, like our finances, home, etc. We agreed on paying to break our lease, to stay on the insurance policy and phone plan together for now, but unenroll autopay so we're able to make our payments separately. I also asked him to reimburse me for what I paid towards the vacation from hell. I wanted to wrap things up enough in that moment to where I would have to see and speak to him as little as possible. I know that some communication in the future will be inevitable, but right now, I can't deal with it. I told him that he can stay in our apartment until we have to leave. I packed some more of my things, and then I left. I don't know if he looked upset or if he was crying. I honestly barely heard anything that he had to say because I was so enraged at the person that I saw in front of me, a complete stranger. I don't know if the past 3 years were all a lie. I don't know if he had cheated before or that he would cheat on me again. All I am sure of is that he was capable of lying and cheating now. I refuse to be another cautionary tale of a woman who loved someone more than herself, so she forgave a cheater only to be cheated on again. There is a big difference between guilt and remorse. In the comments, he just lost something amazing. Play bad games, win bad prizes. OP replies, "This comment especially makes me feel good. I've been sitting here feeling sad and defeated, thinking about all that I could have done to cause this, but I haven't really stopped to reflect on all the ways that I was good in that relationship and didn't deserve this. He lost something much greater than I did. Maybe if I tell myself that enough, my heart will start to believe it too. Thank you for saying this. I commend you. You've been put in a horrible situation at no fault of your own. I'm sorry that you're going through this. You're a strong woman who is respecting yourself when your asshole boyfriend did not. Keep your chin up. You're definitely doing the right thing." OP replies, "I'm sure in some way I contributed to the need for him to do this, though I don't blame myself for him acting on the need. Thank you for your words." Update 4. Thank you to everyone that has commented or reached out after my last 2 posts. I first want to say that I'm doing okay. Even after what I'm going to say in this post, I am okay. I'm going to attempt to make this as brief as possible because I can't give this situation any more of my heart or energy, but it will most likely be long. Here we go. I am all moved out of the apartment, my things going into storage because I'm still staying in my friend's home for the time being. This breakup has proved to be financially burdensome, but somehow money has managed to be the least stressful part of this whole ordeal. It turns out that I never knew the man that I shared my life with for the past 3 years. My ex and I ended up having a conversation on the last day of us moving out. He seemed apologetic and sad and asked if we could talk. He said that he loves me, that he will always love me, and he wants us to stay together. He apologized and said that he would stop bullshitting, no more lies. I didn't feel the need to have a conversation, but I did just have one question. I asked him, why? I never could have imagined in a million years that he would tell me that the reason he cheated was because I miscarried 6 months ago. Especially because of how supportive and loving he was during that period in our lives, I felt blindsided and betrayed. He said that he knows that it was not my fault, that there was nothing that I could have done differently, but it had caused him to resent me, that he was angry. He said he knew how this sounded, which is why he never talked to me about it. He didn't want to hurt me. Ha! I, of course, at this point, felt sick. My heart hurts in ways that I never knew possible. Even the death of my father did not hurt in ways that his words and actions were hurting me now. Here is the man that I have unconditionally loved and supported for over 3 years. I was his biggest cheerleader in life, encouraged him to be his own person and to still live his own life. I wanted him to be happy. We never went to bed mad at each other. We never called each other names. We never not kissed each other goodnight or goodbye in the morning. Our relationship seemed great, and yet he's telling me that for the last 6 months, he has resented me, borderline hated me at times. He admitted to downloading Tinder and chatting with women over the last 6 months. He swore that it never became sexual up until the night that he cheated, and that was only because they had history. I have no clue if that's true, and honestly, I don't care whether it is or not. The cheating is minimal compared to the words he just spoke. We were both crying, and I handed him my keys for him to turn in. I gave him a hug, and I told him that he needs therapy and that I never want to speak or to see him again. I have a therapy appointment next week and will start to work on healing. I am looking at potentially getting a loan so I can get out of anything left that we have shared. I also want to look into moving to a different city, but that's still up in the air. I have changed my phone plan and blocked him everywhere. There was never a chance of him and I getting back together, and this just solidifies my decision. This will most likely be my last post on the subject, but I once again thank each and every one of you. In the comments, no, he didn't cheat on you because of this. You already said that in the first posting that you called the girl, and he was evidently romantic and cuddly with her for hours before sex even started. You don't kiss, cuddle, and go down on someone because you are resenting your significant other. This is just a cheater shifting the blame to make themselves feel better. Next time you speak with him, he will probably have some other reason that he cheated. They always do. Get your own phone plan and car insurance so that you can just cut ties with him. Nothing he says to make himself feel justified is ever going to make sense to you. And OP replies, I agree with you completely. Thank you. Yeah, I call bullcrap too. He just wanted to twist the knife a little further. You are well rid of this manipulative asshole. I wonder what happens to people who cheat. Like, do they move on and keep dating, pretending that it never happened? Possibly he's already checked out of the relationship and is just fabricating a story for the next woman in his life. I can't imagine what kind of person would date him after what he just did, unless lied to. I know Reddit is a filter for bad relationships and that people who are in positive ones generally don't post here, but still, looking at the amount of cheating that goes on in the world, I just don't know how these people continue to get away with it. Do people just lie very well? You know the classic tale of the great person you meet and how this person had shitty, abusive, crazy exes, but in the relationship, this person was the real nightmare. This is what will happen. He will blame the end on her and twist the miscarriage to whatever poor lady he will start dating next. And now onto the final update. I thought my last update would really be the last, but a lot has happened in such a short amount of time, I figured I could close this chapter with a neat little bow. First, I want to say thank you to each and every person that commented or messaged from either post. The outpouring of love is more than I could have ever imagined receiving from strangers. I see so many posts on here with much worse stories, and I don't know what I did to deserve the love and support, but I am eternally grateful. Second, and finally, me and my ex have not talked. There is absolutely no way for him to reach me directly, as I ended up moving in with a different friend for the time being. He does not know about this. He still thinks that I am at friend A's home and communicates with her if there is anything that needs to be said in regards to business matters. She does not allow him to talk about anything personal, and if he does, she does not pass it along. We have zero things connecting us at this point. In my last post, I talked about possibly moving cities, and well, that happened. I was offered a job that I've been trying to get for quite some time, and the position finally opened up. I've been working from home for about a week, will work from home for another week, and then I move. Rhonda, my kitty, is probably not going to be too thrilled, but we have a vet appointment for some kitty meds to hopefully ease the transition. She's top priority always. I love my new job, I love my friends, and I love where my life is headed. I wish nothing bad for my ex and have no ill will towards him, and truly hope that he can find peace in his life. Often what we lose is nothing compared to what we gain. It's just getting past our human ego and being able to see it. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for coming along on this journey with me. I wish you all happiness and love in your lives. In the comments, impulse overcame common sense, my ass. For 6 months he was looking for some fun. It just took 6 months to actually get it. And yeah, it's never sexual until it suddenly is. That is how dating works. And yeah, he framed it like, I only slept with a woman who I had a real-life connection with, when in reality is, only a woman I've been with before would sleep with me and no one on Tinder was interested. I can't remember the post, but there was a woman that found out that her significant other was on Tinder, but was getting 0 responses and ghosted by all of his attempts. Like, I don't know if anything is more embarrassing than trying to be a shitbag cheater than trying and failing so miserably. Quote, he said she's not even attractive. Why do cheaters always say this? dragging another woman, even one they cheated with, doesn't make it better. It arguably makes them look worse. I hope OP is out there living their best life. That was a line that really pissed me off. Before I got to the part where he resented her for the miscarriage, ugh. I flipped the hell out when I read that. Like, why even tell her that? That was unnecessarily cruel after the fact. I don't know, IMO, but all I had was rage in my heart when he said that, like he was negating her as a human one last time, like he does every woman. And beyond that, it makes him look like he'll still cheat even with people he considers second pickings. It's repulsive. And that's where I'm going to leave today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.